What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcast for the next episode of Cities Skylines, where I think we're just going to continue, expanding as much as possible. We're going to be like an endless balloon that's getting blown, which is pretty good for the balloon, all things considered. Let's hang out on this side. It looks like people... What, do you guys not have driveways? Like, how come nobody has a... You guys have a garage right there. You can see it. Why would your car... Why do your cars all look like spaceman cars? They've all got kind of like a Lambo. Basically, it's like an SUV by Lambo or something. They've all got, don't they look kind of like Lambo? I don't know. I'm not good at cars. I talk to my friends like, I have friends that are really, really into cars. Like, that's like what they do for a living and all that kind of stuff. And I'm always saying dumb shit around them and just being like, oops. And so, unfortunately, it's not something that I excel at. So, you know what? I'm going to step away from it for right now. All I know is that if you're a rapper, it seems like you want a Bugatti. And it seems like a really, really good decision. But for right now, what's happening over there? Oh, it's because my little... Maybe these will do better, because these right here are suffering from a lack of workers. If you take a look right now, they have way too many overeducated workers that are just like leaving for other jobs the second that they can get them. Maybe these start out with a greater capacity for well-educated workers, and so they tend to draw people off a lot easier, which is why my high density seems to be doing so much better than my low density. Still, nonetheless... we should be able to get some of our rampant commercialism under control in the next episode or two. For now, what we want to focus on is the zoning of further residential tracts. So I'm thinking, well, not too hard. I don't want to like strain or hurt myself, but still, I'll probably put in some more office buildings on this side so that people can go to work and get the stuff done they need to do in order to earn them paychecks so that they can hang out on the internet with me during their leisure time. It's very, very hard to have like productive leisure time when you're like unemployed and just like feeling, I don't know. I went through like a really, really long unemployment period after I lost my life. I touched on it in the last episode where I got pink slipped, and it's before I went to college. I got pink slipped at a job that I thought I was going to be doing for like the rest of my life. I was kind of the opinion that I was going to be doing this for a very, very long time, you know. And then you catch that pink slip and plans change all of a sudden, and it can actually be very, very difficult to be variable in that moment and recover. And so it took me quite a while to like get back on my feet and just be like, everything's gonna be okay, because I didn't believe that everything was gonna be okay. But I went back to school, and you know, I floated some debt and some other enjoyable factors, but at the same time walked out with a degree and an education and like job prospects and things like that. And it took upwards of 4 or 5 years to finish that off, start to finish, and I was working the same time, and you know, had to do some shit jobs, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. The real problem happens when there's no shit jobs to be had, because basically the bottom of the barrel jobs are kind of like the last thing that you search for. Things like flipping burgers and making hot dogs and things like that. And when those jobs are in demand and like people are fighting over those jobs, you know you're in big trouble. That's when you know things are about to get real, real ugly. Which actually happened. We had a problem where I actually lived for a while where you couldn't even get fast food jobs. All the fast food jobs had people fighting over them. They had like 43-year-olds fighting over fast food jobs after the economy went down. It was brutal. It was real brutal out there. Luckily, things seem to have stabilized somewhat. They're not so bad anymore, but I'll probably put that in right there. I don't know if I should do that. Let's go for a 4-lane right here. And we'll throw that off to that side. This seems like a really, really terrible idea, but I think I can make this work. No grid line. Damn, no. There it is. Sometimes it is so hard to get that grid line to the exact spot that you want. And then from here, we'll take like a 1-lane road off that way. Yep, without ending it in an intersection. And that should give us enough residential growth to keep things going for a little while. High density definitely seems to be doing better. I need to create like a part of town where nobody has an education. And it's proving to be a much more delicate task than originally thought. These people are hanging in there for right now. This road, I haven't decided what I want to do with it just yet. Do I have any fire departments or anything up in here? Okay, good, I do. I have a fire department right there. I would strongly recommend we drop another one right there just in case. Police department. How we looking with them polices? We got a big station up here, so the Popo should have that locked down. 5-0 should have this area quite blue and red over the next little bit. We've got education looking okay. It's going to take a little while. I've got a high school, and we've got a basically, I think it's an elementary. Yeah, we've got an elementary, and we've got a high school, and so I'm hoping that'll supply us with at least some uneducated workers, because all of our industry seems to be suffering due to the fact that everybody's overqualified. Other things that we can do while we wait. We could get a bus stop rocking. Get that thing placed now rather than later. I don't think it's a terrible idea. Let's get going with some bus stops, shall we? So we'll put a bus stop right there. Have the bus stop on that corner. Have it stop on that corner. From there, it'll go all the way around. Does it have to go? Why does it have to go all the way? Oh, because the road doesn't connect. Okay, so never mind then. This will have to go. Ooh, this little area is sort of like a death trap, I guess. So what it would actually have to do in order to be efficient is we put one right there. And yeah, we'd have to have it go a stop right there, stop right there, stop right there. Most inefficient bus route ever. It's okay though. You can fix the route by making it branch a little bit more. And then however you want to complete the line, going up and around appears to be the most efficient way to do it. And you know what? That's what I'm going to do because that'll keep this going. I don't know how many buses that's going to take. I assume that it'll only take like one. We can set out a couple more lines. Just make them all work for right now. Create a line there. Take it on up to this side. Down to there. And just kind of like around. I'm actually just going to... No. Take this one around town if I can. Let's have it connect right there, and that should help out a little bit with public transit. Never hurts to have a little bit more bus up in your city. I built my computer, and I love buses. The more buses I have, the better. So I figure it works out that way for cities as well. Let's see here. We need a little bit more commercialism, do we? So let's get going on that side just to make sure that that meter stays nice and low. Gonna be the meter maid for right now. And then we'll add some more jobs in this little region. Alright, so that should help those stay nice and fit. What's going on in this part of town? How nasty has it gotten over here in Broxton? Quite nasty. I think we could still afford to probably throw in a few more hearses, but it's doing better than it was in the previous episode, so I think moving the buildings around and getting rid of some of the bugged crematoriums, I think fixed it up. That place is unloading. Emptying is finished. Okay, so where did you empty to, amigo? You emptied to over there. I think I can actually get rid of you at this point. I don't even need you anymore. So, away with you, landfill. I no longer require you to fill my land with refuse and garbage. It's amazing how much garbage I produce. I started paying attention to that. Just like how much you throw out on a daily basis. Just like cartons and things like that. I'm like, well, damn. You start to think about the fact that like landfills have got to be getting like mountainous all throughout the first world right now. Any place where there's like condensed communities. What's even worse is they outsource it to other countries too. Like they actually pay other countries like huge amounts of money so we can just dump our garbage there. Many of these places are in like Africa and stuff, and I think a lot of people don't actually know about that. So you know what? Welcome to learning stuff with Splattercat. How are things on this side of town? Oh my god, that gridlock though. Oh man. Oh no. And that's just like not even fixable right there. It's like, what do you even do? It's a 6-lane road going into 6-lane roads. Where are they all trying to go right now? See, sometimes this will happen too. Like the intersections don't take turns. I watched an intersection and these groups just kept cutting each other off, never letting anybody cross this way. And I kept wondering like, why is that? It needs to actually take turns like in real life. But they just seem to like cut each other off wherever there's an opening. It might also be due to the fact that we have this going on over here, maybe. I don't know if this intersection's causing problems or what's going on. This little crossover, maybe, but that's just going to transfer it over to this little crossover, you know? So this area, we knew it was going to have problems, but the problems continue to mount. Which, depends how much you like horses, I guess. I don't know. This place, it's looking alright over here. I mean, we still have some major death problems over on this side that I just don't know how to solve. That's a medical clinic. Well, what do we have with regards to, like, crematoriums? How's this crematorium doing? It's got 5 out of 9, so technically it should have, like, the extra budget contained in order to take care of some of these issues. Traffic appears to be flowing perfectly fine. Sure, drop another cemetery over there. What's the worst that could... It's outside the power grid? How did it manage that? No, it's not. It's perfectly fine, so maybe that'll help out a little bit. We'll give, like... I don't know, the cemeteries seem to operate a little bit better than the crematoriums. I'm not entirely sure why. It's not the max capacity increase either. It just seems to be due to the fact that, I don't know, something's different between the two buildings, and I just seem to see one working better than the other. Let's get rid of some of these burned down buildings around here. We're having a couple fire problems in here. I've been letting the game pass a bit in between episodes, and so all these issues tend to pile up along the way. This is all the while we wait for these guys to get to... Oh, wow, these buildings went out of business too. Why are they going out of business? Not enough workers, maybe? Okay. Well, the Dale residence is unfortunately having issues with their water supply. I realize that one's crooked. I'll fix it later. I'm sure nothing bad will ever come of all this. Keep extending out these lines. You know this guy right here is going to be pissed off when he builds his house. Let's try and make sure that this little area over here is all ready to go. So they're lacking in workers right now. The students at this side seem to be doing pretty well. It's going to take a while for this area to educate, though. That's just... It is what it is. And so as they get better... Yeah, you hear that little ding, 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 ding noise? That's them getting more educated. It's also buildings upgrading, but... You know, you gotta keep an eye on it for right now. You should see all of these. It's a long process, too. It actually takes, like, weeks and weeks and weeks and days and days and days for the education of a location to go up. So, if you're having issues with it, just kind of, like, wait it out, and it should get better. This is something that I struggled with in the early game, where I just couldn't figure out why our schools weren't getting things done. It's a time issue. You actually don't need more schools. You just need to wait on the other ones to do their job efficiently. Just takes a little while. It just takes a little while. I may leave some of these areas uneducated for the future, just so, and that seems like sort of an oxymoron right there. Why would you uneducate people for the future? That seems to be counterproductive to the future. Still, I'm going to leave some of these areas uneducated so that they can fill in for some of the random jobs that we have around. Like these places, actually, I think the rampant commercialism is all up in these areas. It might be worth rezoning some of this, maybe. Like rezoning a little bit of that right there. And then putting high density commercial in here. So that can start growing up, and that'll just kill off our bar right here for a second because we do have a decent demand for it. I think we might just have like highly educated areas that need to be taken care of right now. There's a medium demand for commercial zones. Okay, well. That was a little bit kind of like tab targeted and a little bit sweeping right there, but this should help out in the long term. And then we'll wipe out a couple more of these little areas over here, so that we can put in... I gotta go slow. I gotta go slow, and I gotta pinch my tongue in between my teeth when I do this, otherwise I'll mess it up. I'll mess it up and I'll do something stupid. So there's that right there, and then we'll fill that in. That should help out with our commercial needs. Yep, for just a little bit. This was the area that they needed it in. You'll see the biggest gains when you build commercial areas in the actual area where they need them. You only see small gains if you do it in other places. So then, all these high density areas are going to go out of business because they don't have workers. Let us fuck use. You know what? Let's just continue to educate. It's been working pretty well for us thus far, and I'm going to keep it rocking. I figure we've already got unis over there, so let's just keep people educated. Alright, they're adding a few more uneducated over to here. The suburbs appear to be thriving, though. Things appear to be getting better. One thing that I've noted is that the suburbs do tend to have issues with traffic as you go along, but we should be good. Let's bulldoze some of these bad buildings that are up in here, because obviously they have done things that are adverse to the way that we view things and the way that we do law here in town, and thus they must be spanked. Not frivolously, though. You don't give out spankings frivolously. If you give them out frivolously, you might attract the wrong sort into the air, those that like being spanked, and then you'd be like, whoa, 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 society is truly crumbling. No, I don't believe that. I'm just coming up with things to talk about because there's nothing going on in game right now. We managed to keep a lot of our needs under control for right now. I believe we might want to do a high density area maybe over here. Oh, look at all of you guys going out of business. Maybe you should hire accountants and like do better at your job, huh? Do better market research. Building is on fire. Fire trucks are here to save it, though. That's like one of those old houses from like the 70s where it's got the flat top roofs that are only like slightly angled. Does he have a swimming pool in the middle of his lunch table? Oh my god, that's luxurious right there. Having lunch, bam, swimming pool. Just in case. Everybody got swimming pools up in this neighborhood. Damn. And this guy's got a swimming pool, and he's got a table with a swimming pool in the middle of it, just in case. Just in case. Don't want that pool? Go to the secondary pool. You can relocate and just take care of business. Okay, so while we've got all that taken care of, Maybe a small industrial zone. I don't know. The last time I made an industrial zone, they all went out of business, and so I'm kind of worried about doing it again. I worry about these sorts of things. Maybe a little industrial zone right there, and we just, like, see what happens. Just, like, leave it there for all the undereducated workers, I guess. And if it builds in, it builds in, and if it don't, it don't. Who should I call if nobody comes out to pick up the dead? Technically, that's more on you than me. Over here, it appears as though we have like a giant traffic jam. Trying to take care of 6 citizens. It'll probably be okay, though. I need to just like stop looking in this region because it's so poorly designed that it's just like suffering from many, many issues. Looks like we got sick people over on this side of the map, which leads me to believe maybe I did not hospitalize properly. It may be worth it. To throw an extra one in right there, just in case. Well, that one's at 0 out of 38, but given the one-way road that I put around the outside of this, I'd like to make sure that, like, somebody's functioning. Yeah, so he jumped up straight to 12 out of 38. It must be inefficient for this one to get anywhere, at least in his little cityscape area. I'll keep an eye on him. If this one just turns out to be way more efficient than all the other ones, I will more than likely sort of like bulldoze some of this stuff. In fact, I don't think we need the medical clinic anymore, although I could move it. I could move it. I like to move it. Medical clinic, go over here now. Where are you? We'll go... Sure. That seems okay. I'd rather just like use it than actually like lose it. So, hey, I'll take a good thing. I'll take a good thing right there. Just kind of like rezone some stuff. They don't have any water over here? How did that happen? Oh, man, we ran out of pipe again. Damn it. Alright, so let's take that up to there. Take that up to there. Then we'll take that up to meow. And actually, our surplus is dropping off right now. I wonder why that is. What is costing us so much money? Our medical bills are pretty expensive. Our budget seems to be mostly reliant upon education and also upon... Let me drop this down slightly because I don't think we got that much of a cost benefit from it anyways. I think we only got like one more slot on our bigger hospitals to make it work. So I'm sorry, on our crematoriums and on our cemeteries we only got like one slot. And I think these down here had 38 slots up until... Where's the one that I just built? So they're down to 35, so that still actually didn't really affect that much. It's functioning, and this one over here is doing nothing, huh? I think it might not be representing properly how many ambulances it has sent out, because it's jumping in between really, really high numbers and really, really low numbers. So I'm thinking that might actually not be displaying properly. Either way, we'll leave it where it is. How are we doing with workers out here? Yeah, that's what I figured would happen. That's what I figured would happen. That is what I had thought. Well, let's continue to take this 4-lane through over to there. And let's get some of this structured all out, shall we? I don't want to make more intersections. I want to make less intersections. So we'll go something like that. And then actually, it might be an okay plan to go down like so. And sort of just make like these right here. I don't know, this will be an experiment. We'll see how this works. If it works out horribly, feel free to blame me, shout at me, and be like, Splattercat, you're a dunce. It's okay, I don't mind. But I like to try out new things when I play these games. And we'll see what we can fill in terms of space on both of these sides. And so we got like a little road right here that goes off. It might back up traffic. It might, but it might not. Eh? That's all. That's my entire argument right there. It might, but it might not. Kind of keep these things out of proximity of one another and get this zoned for the future. There we go. So now we've got more suburban paradise, if that's what you deem as paradise. The road systems appear to be functioning okay. We'll obviously want to put in a few more bus routes while we're in here. And we probably also want to give citizens some form of access to the area via public transit. So some type of like metro system or something to bring them all into town. And we'll want to give that a little bit of a wide berth, simply based on the fact that we don't want to deafen our citizens. I'd like them to be able to hear. It would be nice. And so let's go up into here. Got a subway system on this side. I'll probably drop it right there. Let's think about running some train track. One side to another. Okay. So we'll take some of this out to here where they shall cross. This all appears to be working okay, so let's set up another line here to get people around in case they want to go into the little suburban area. And so all I really want to do right here is we'll add a stop right there. We'll add a stop right there. I just want this to go all the way around the horn and then back, and then we'll complete the line. And so hopefully that'll service plenty of people. I don't know that it will. I don't know that it won't, but the metro system should be pretty cool. I always wish that we had a metro system here in the Bay Area. We kind of do, but it's a little bit wonky. I've talked about BART enough in this series. BART is cool. It's alright. And then once you get into the city, they've got the tramways. Once you get into San Francisco anyways, they got the trams that run like all over the place. And I'm not talking about like the fancy trolley red ones. I'm talking about like the trams where they like to go downhill, they turn off the electricity and they just glide that bastard. It's an odd experience the first time you do it, but you get used to it. Like, they get to the top of the hill, and then, like, the lights turn off, and then it just, like, goes downhill super fast. You're like, oh, God! And then they turn the power back on, like, somewhere. That's what happened when I was on it. I don't know if that's a normal experience for everybody. We'll have to weigh in on a San Franciscan will have to talk about it that frequently uses that system. They'll have to weigh in, because they would know better than I, but that was my experience on the way back from a Giants game. Okay, so we got people coming up in here. Let's continue to build our residential paradise for a little bit. They want more office jobs, something that I am free to provide. I don't mind at all. So let's drop that in over there. So there's a couple of those rocking right now. And these should... Oh, wow, that just brought in a bunch of people. Did you see that right there? Holy shit, we're letting people go in and out of the city like, okay, more metro stations. Oh my god, that thing is like belching humanity. And also being like, it's like a black hole of humans. This guy's just hanging out with his dog, just itching that exact... Oh, shit! I'm thinking maybe a bus stop right here would be a smart thing to do. Something. I don't really do trains. Trains don't really... I don't trust them. I don't trust trains. Probably, like, go over to here. Probably take this down this way. And let's just keep an eye on the way that the transit system works here. Add a stop right there. Add a stop right there. We'll go all the way around the horn. And complete the line right there. And that should give people some kind of transit that they can use to get around, because it looks like they're all pedicating all over the place. So anyways, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcast for the next episode of City Skylines. I look forward to seeing you all in future episodes. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do as always.